And now moving down to the second shelf, I want to use another one of these Monstera placemats to on the other side though this time. So this is going to be on the left side above the bottom shelf because I want to do another plastic pink flamingo that will really pop against that tropical leaf background as well. For this one, I've got a different plan. So what I want to do is I want to make it standing in a bucket of coffee beans. The only problem is I didn't have any coffee beans. So we're going to try to DIY our own. I do have black beans. So I am going to just pour some of those out here in a box where I can spray paint them brown. I have some brown spray paint from Dollar General. So I think this is going to be a quick little coffee bean hack. I think that'll be enough to cover the top of my bucket. And I'm just going to spray them all brown. And I'm not going to worry about flipping them over. If I can get just most of them painted brown, I think that's going to be good. And this is going to make them really shiny too and make them look like roasted coffee beans. And this is the bucket we're using from the Dollar Tree. I just chose a plain pink bucket that's hot pink, like the pink flamingo. And then I cut down some Cricut vinyl. I will include the link to this SVG if you'd like to recreate. And it says cool beans. I thought that would be really fun because I think flamingos are kind of cool. And he's going to be standing in an entire bucket of pretend coffee beans. So I'm just weeding out my vinyl here. It is kind of a scripted font. And then using some transfer paper to attach this to the metal bucket. I thought the white vinyl would really pop against that bright pink bucket and really look nice. And I kind of wanted this pink flamingo to be wearing sunglasses. And I did buy the smallest pair of sunglasses that they have from the Dollar Tree, like for kids, but still too big. So I'm going to have to keep looking for some cool sunglasses for our little flamingo here. But I just used the transfer paper and I'm going to put this right on here. I love this saying. I think this is one of the sayings I said all the time as a teenager. Cool beans. So it made me laugh. And I just transfer our vinyl right on there and this little bucket is ready to go. I'm going to use one of the little round floral foam pieces. These fit perfectly in the Dollar Tree buckets. And I want to pile coffee on top of it. I don't want that green to show through. So I went ahead and painted it brown as well. I did not use spray paint on this because I know spray paint and foam does not get along. It kind of dissolves the styrofoam. And so I just used some acrylic paint and painted that. And then I'm going to put this in the bucket and I'm going to try to push it down a little bit so I have a little bit of room for our little faux coffee beans. The paint was still a little wet. I didn't want to use any heat on there because I didn't want the foam to melt. So that's just going to have to dry in its own. Now for this pink flamingo, I wanted this one to look different than the other ones. So I used white acrylic paint and a sponge and I am just rubbing that all over and then wiping off the excess here with a baby wipe. So this is going to be like a pink and white feather one. And we're also going to change up the colors of the legs and the beak on this one to do another variety of pink flamingo because I wanted a little variation. I didn't want two pink flamingos looking exactly the same. But look at that great texture that's on there that you can't see at all when it's all just pink. So I always like to paint my pink flamingos. I think that's a really fun little hack. And I did the back too because this is going to be a freestanding flamingo. You're going to be able to see both sides. So as you can see, it already has a different feel, distressing it with the white versus the candy pink. And then I'm going to use wood dowels for legs. I've learned my lesson. But this time I'm using like a magenta pink for the legs. And I'm also going to be adding that to the beak. This is another variation of flamingo. They don't all have orange legs and they're definitely not all the same color of pink. We actually saw a wild flamingo in Grand Turk over Christmas and it was actually white. So there are definitely some variations. And I am just going to use a small brush so I can paint this part of the beak pink to correspond with its legs. And as you can see, it definitely gives it a different vibe. My son was showing me a picture of some that even have a very, very soft yellow, leg and beak, and it makes it look totally different, really pretty. I also painted the black tip just because everything else was kind of matte and that was glossy. So I used some black matte acrylic paint to paint that, and also touched up the eye so it was nice and bold. I'm going to poke 2 holes just using my Cricut weeder. That plastic is so thin, it's really easy to cut this. And then again, I'm going to make an X in each one so my wood dowels will fit in there tightly. And I add a little hot glue here before adding one of my wood dowels. I stick it in there about 1/4 of an inch or so. You can do it however much you need to do. I had to make mine a specific height for my coffee bar so it will fit in there. And then I just used a screwdriver to poke 2 holes into my foam to make this easier, and added some hot glue to those and added my pink flamingo legs down inside the brown styrofoam. So this is the start of it, and now I've let my beans sit aside. So now we have some brown beans, and I'm just going to try to hot glue most of them down. Some of them will definitely be stacked, but I thought if I would hot glue them down, they would be more likely to stay in place and I would get better coverage. So I try to just do one section here at a time, and I really wanted to go all the way to the edge to try to cover up any of the foam that might be visible. And they definitely don't look exactly like coffee beans, but hey, I think I did pretty good with what I had on hand. So that is the front of the bucket. I'm going to go ahead and fill up the back too. I really did the perfect amount of black beans here for our coffee beans because I was able to fill up the bucket really nice and full. Once I got the entire base hot glue down, I just kind of started stacking them together because I didn't really want any hot glue that was going to be visible anywhere. And this is how it turned out. Our little pink flamingo standing in coffee beans, and it says cool beans. Very whimsical and cute, and I'm glad it had a coffee theme to go with my coffee bar.